The Soul Stream has begun.
No, Phantom, stop. No, Phantom, my turn. Well, my turn. Round 2. Fight. The stage is yours.
You interrupted the whole show for that. The Soul Stream has begun again, finally.
For real this time.
Mortal Kombat Online, the Realm Kast live show, bringing you the latest news, thrilling interviews, and much more, all live and in real time. And the best part, you can be part of the action. Join us for our live conversations by chatting in the live chat where your voice will be heard. I feel like I've already said all this. I am your host, the Mortal Kombat Phantom, and with me as always is our lore master, not the lore master, as we just kind of did on our blank intro. Yanni, welcome Yanni.
Thank you, and I'm getting deja vu, honestly. It feels like this has happened before. So for all of you who are unaware, we actually just did this, and then Tabmok and I realized, hey, are we live? And we just had, it's such a shame because we actually had like a really great intro. It was actually such a flowing conversation, but
it's better than this.
I feel like
definitely better than this.
And just shook it upside down and started a time all over again.
It is time. So actually now it is time that I reintroduce for the second time today our returning 10th Soulstream guest, Tabmok99. It's your turn to return. I messed that up twice. Your turn to return to the Realm Kast. Welcome back.
Guys, thank you so much for having me. Phantom, Yanni, always great to be here on the Realm Kast. Thank you guys. So glad that we can do this again.
So, welcome Tabmok. So we are back. We're live again, and we got some topics to talk about today. We're live everywhere right now except for Facebook. We have a little bit of technical difficulty with Facebook right now, but we are here. And
thank you, Mark Zuckerberg, for that.
And I think we're still figuring out the Discord chat showing up on the stream itself. So hopefully we get that done for next time. But in the meantime, welcome everybody. Nice to see you all in the chat already. I saw a couple of you popping in, dropping a message right before we went live too, and also when we thought we were live as well. So that's great.
By the way, little bit of behind the scenes stuff. We might be able to get together with Fatalcade. He's really good at somehow integrating the chats from the Discord in there with everything else, all the other sources for chat. He's amazing at that.
We'll definitely reach out and get him doing that. I'm surprised he hasn't chimed in yet on it. So yeah, if you guys do want to, our plans is eventually we're gonna have Mortal Kombat Online's Discord. It's gonna be integrated with this. If you guys are into Discord, you can go and chat there just like you do on YouTube and Facebook and things like that. So that's always an option. But welcome everybody in the chat today, and welcome Yanni and Tabmok. We got a few different topics we're going to be discussing. A little bit of Mortal Kombat movie news. It's kind of been making the rounds around the internet. And there is a Mortal Kombat stress test, and there's some upcoming new footage for Mortal Kombat. And then we have our main topic. So Yanni, do you want to kind of kick us off on everything?
Well, I mean, you've really taken us through, I guess, a sort of table of contents for this episode. But we do have a discussion topic for today's episode. We always try to have a bit of a discussion topic when doing this because, you know, you're going to get some MK news, and then we'd like to actually get into the parts of Mortal Kombat that we all know and love, which is arguing about things that maybe we don't all see the same on. And one topic that we have seen making its rounds on all possible platforms is, so MK11's story was pointless, and Tabmok has actually sort of addressed this in his previous episode. So was it previous or the previous one, but before that, kind of already talked about that a little bit, but we wanted to go into it in greater detail. So we'll be doing that today after we go through the news that we have outlined.
So
well, I'm excited to get into this news. What do we want to talk about first? Is that going to be the stress test?
Let's start with the movie. Yeah,
I think so.
Start with the movie?
Yeah. So, there's been some news going around. We actually have 3 confirmed castings right now for the Mortal Kombat movie, the sequel to 2020's Mortal Kombat. Not to be confused with 2023 Mortal Kombat 1 video game or the 1990 video game Mortal Kombat or the 1990s movie Mortal Kombat.
You've lost me.
The 2020
With the logo clearly displayed like that, I think you guys nailed it. We all know what we're talking about here.
Obviously, the Mortal Kombat 95, right?
Oh my god. So, Mortal Kombat 2 movie, we have some confirmed castings finally. So, Carl Urban has been confirmed to be playing Johnny Cage. And we
As
talked
far
about
as we've seen, at least. We did talk about this before, but at that point in time, it was just, oh, he's in talks. But every single article that we've read lately, even confirming the latest couple, have all said that he is confirmed as Johnny Cage. So unless we're misunderstanding anything there, and if we are, please let us know. Anybody in charge, we don't want to spread misinformation. But he seems to be Johnny.
Yeah, and this is coming now from...
Yeah, and Todd Garner was seemingly confirming it. I mean, he certainly confirmed the final talks, but it looks to me like it's pretty much a done deal.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think one of the latest articles was actually Hollywood Reporter, and I mean, their accuracy level is outstanding, because usually a lot of their articles come from people like Todd Garner, the producer. Yeah. So for them to say that he's confirmed casting, and Yanni, didn't they have some particular wording that they used too for Carl Urban's role as Johnny Cage in that?
Yes, they did. And I remember we commented on that. It was something along the lines of he's leading the ensemble, meaning it looks like we have a new lead character. Unless there was a misunderstanding there, this looks like it's not going to be Cole Young who's leading the cast this time, but actually Carl Urban as Johnny Cage.
And
Cole Young, you go find Johnny Cage, recruit him, and then dip out. That's fine.
go to the Chaos Realm.
And that's not saying that Cole Young's not going to be in the movie at all, but I mean, the wording of that article doesn't make it seem like Carl Urban is the star of this movie, which is kind of exciting because he's freaking great in everything that he does. And I know a lot of people are kind of weary to see him as Johnny Cage, but I think he's a great actor, so hopefully he can pull that off. And we've talked about that a lot in the last Soul stream, so I don't want to rehash too much of that right now.
And I mean, it does look like...
I'm with you.
Sorry, Tabmok?
I'm with you 100% on this. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. No. I just wanted to say real quick that if he shaves, if they DH him with the computer special effects, if they give him a good accent coach, I already know he can fight, and I already know he can act. I think he'll be great.
Yeah, I agree with you entirely. Apart from saying that we need to DH him, hey, that's... he looks young enough, man. Come on. If I shave this beard, I look like I'm 18 again.
Oh, okay.
Wait, you're not 18?
What?
So the other two castings that we've have confirmed now is Adeline Rudolph, or is it Adeline? Adeline
Rudolph, I would say, yeah.
Yeah, so she's been confirmed to be playing Princess Katana. And Tati Gabrielle, which is going to be playing Jade.
Both of whom?
Yanni, I understand you're a great singer. Can you sing Sweet Adeline to the tune of Sweet Caroline?
I'm gonna pass on this one for today, but I'll definitely plan something with you behind the scenes for next time. All right.
Well, I'm sure the audience appreciates that very much.
But one interesting thing, as far as I understand about both of these choices, is that they both seem to have been on Sabrina together, if that's correct.
The 1990s television
the Teenage
Witch.
The Teenage Witch, but apparently
and
the latest version.
Carrie Tagawa was also on Sabrina the Teenage Witch.
That he was.
Yeah, the 90s one.
And I think there was even a little Mortal Kombat reference, was there?
No, that's
or was that just a meme? That's a fake meme. All right. Well done. Well done, meme.
But I did see the clip of it, and it was pretty cool. Like, hey, that guy can fight, whether he's in Mortal Kombat or on Sabrina.
Yeah, he was her karate teacher or something, wasn't he? In the
show? That was it.
But there was like a little martial arts tournament they had going on there, yeah.
And she cheated because it's a jerk.
Hey, if using magic in martial arts is cheating, then I don't want to be right.
Well, he did the same thing in Mortal Kombat. I'm seeing a lot more people popping into the chat, by the way. Hi, everybody. Hey, Delara. I'm liking seeing...
There's so many people I wanted to say hi to. I feel like I owe 10 people
Go for it right now.
I want to say hi to Caneless, Delara, Evil Emperor X, Arkivo Mortal Kombat, TJB Fox 769, Iskander Mortal Kombat. I'm going to scroll down and cheat. The Noob, Tigress Gaming. If I missed anybody, really sorry.
Ahmed as well.
To Quincy Brown, who was messaging me on Instagram just before we started this live stream about some stuff he noticed in the MK1 trailer. So shout outs to everybody who's in the chat, and even those who are not, I'm thinking about you.
Is everybody
and he said hi for us as well, everybody, just saying. Totally not taking the easy way out there.
Yeah, saying hi for the whole group.
No. Oh,
and
thank you very much,
AWA,
D-Rock.
Or is that? And oh wait, I don't want to leave out anybody. Okay, so somebody leaves a super chat. We have to read that, right?
Yeah,
Yes,
we got a first
definitely.
super chat. Do you want to go ahead and read it, Yanni?
Sure. D-Rock, thank you firstly. I'm honestly not invested in the next film. You can't build on a weak foundation, and the first film was a big missed opportunity. I think MK2 will be better, but they should really start over. What do you all think? And Scott, I'm thinking about you, not just Tabmok.
Yeah, I actually know Scott's phone number. How many of us actually memorize people's phone numbers? I can give it out right here on the air to prove it.
Feel like it might be a bad idea.
No, I think it might be. So you're saying there's a chance?
There's always a chance.
All right. So who wants to address D-Rock's comment first?
I'll let you guys go first because I have some thoughts about this that we talked a little bit about last time on the last full stream, but the casting choices now, I got things to say. So you guys go first.
Tabmok, after you.
Yes. Okay. I do think that this is, as we've seen in the Mortal Kombat video games, there is a chance that the sequel can be better than the first. Mm-hmm. We've seen that with Mortal Kombat 1 and 2. So I absolutely think the second movie can be better than the first. I don't know if it's time for a reboot. I understand the argument, and I kind of get it. Like, I kind of had that thought cross my mind, too. Like, maybe they should just start over and reboot it. Do something that has nothing to do with the first movie. But on the other hand, it's like, no, just roll with it. Just go with it. See where you can go with it. See if you can improve it. Take what you did the first time around, bump it up into something even better. I know that means there's some kind of constraints that they have to live with. There's stuff like the Arcana that people weren't wild about, stuff like Cole Young that even less people were wild about. But I think that they can actually pull this off and make it work, judging from the scenes that have been released on, not YouTube, that one. It looks like they have some cool stuff planned.
Yeah. So I'm with you there, Tabmok. I actually sort of disagree as to, well, I don't sort of disagree. I disagree that it was a weak foundation. I wouldn't say it was a weak foundation. I think it was a pretty solid foundation. They might not have gone about everything game accurate, but firstly, sadly, we have to accept that will never be the case for most game adaptations at this point in time. And to be fair as well, Mortal Kombat 95 really wasn't like on the exact same level as the games in terms of lore either. You know, things were changed there too. It was close, but it was also very different in certain aspects too. So I think that we're all being a bit too unfair, especially expecting a complete reboot when the movie performed extremely well, apparently, on HBO Max. So I disagree that it was a weak foundation.
Yeah, I disagree with that too. I think it was a pretty good foundation. Not perfect, but wasn't HBO caught fudging the numbers on some of their titles?
I did want to mention that.
Yeah, but it was never proven for which titles, or if Mortal Kombat was part of those titles. So
yeah,
I know it's just one of those things where everything is kind of suspicious now.
Yeah.
You never know, but at the same time,
the good news about Mortal Kombat has been tainted kind of by this whole thing, you know?
See, I wouldn't even say that, just purely because if you compare it to the other movies that it was actually against, in terms of budget, Mortal Kombat was nowhere near. So just for it to have apparently been that high in comparison, even if you're changing up the numbers a little bit, for it to be in some way comparable to the ones that are released alongside, that's still pretty damn good in my opinion.
It is. Yeah, it is.
And just before we get to you, Phantom, I would also like to say I had a lot of problems with the movie, Arcana being my biggest problem, actually.
Birthmark.
But it was born with it. So every time. But the Arcana itself could really be fixed. It could be something that we can move past. And we've talked about this at length about how, okay, you're going to take one of the things that people did not like from Mortal Kombat Annihilation and put it in this reboot. I don't understand why, but we have a solid cast. We have the lore sort of being built in the movie. Yes, it's its own movie lore, fine, but we have all these characters. We had certain characters like Sub-Zero, who obviously has some form of future as Noob Saibot, considering what's happened. Spoiler alert. I say spoiler alert because, straight up. But all we can do is assume what we're going to be getting next. And I think that really leads us into a very high potential sequel where there are no constraints. And Warner Bros., for example, has seen, hey, let's give it a bit more budget. People obviously want this.
Yeah. Let's see. TJB Fox was asking, what's the film's budget? I don't have those numbers in front of me, but it was more than the first movie. It wasn't a lot more. So, I mean, like speaking as far as movie budgets go, it's not like they're giving it Avengers type money, but it was more than the first movie. This new one's going to be more than the first movie. And I think that kind of goes into some of the casting choices. And some of the rumors that are out there as far as script read leaks and stuff like that. I kind of think the way that they're handling the story in this next movie is it's going to be a soft reboot. The fact that they're having Carl Urban come in as the lead on this one, and a lot of the story that we've seen so far, we talked about in the last full stream, seems to be Outworld based from some of the scripts that have leaked so far. If that's the case, I think they're just kind of, Mortal Kombat 1 is probably the same universe, and they're just kind of like, we're going to put that aside and focus on something a little bit different and make a different movie that is more to what the fans want, which, I mean, Todd Gardner is a huge Mortal Kombat fan himself. Same with the different scriptwriters that have worked on the first movie and this movie are actually big Mortal Kombat fans, and they kind of have tried to incorporate as much as they could from what seems around what the movie studios lets them do. So yeah, I think this is a type of reboot on its own.
So even Emperor X is coming. Bring that up. I gotta read this.
I also want to throw one more thing out there. I heard through the time that Ed Boon is going to have a little bit more hands-on involvement in the sequel than he did in the original. So he's going to have a little bit more input. I just shouldn't say hands-on involvement, but more input, more recommendations. He'll be able to have a little bit more influence on the film. So I'm really excited to see how that shakes out because I already love what I've been seeing.
And to tack onto that too, Ed Boon and Dominique both have had a lot of influence, as Jeremy Adams has talked about on the Realm Kast, with the Mortal Kombat Legends movies. So we see how that input can kind of direct how these movies are coming out. I mean, Scorpion's Revenge was a huge hit for Mortal Kombat fans, except for a couple things here and there, and that's a lot of that has to do with the fact that these writers are working more along with the creators. So
yes. And you can actually see, before I get into that, Evil Emperor X, I have to read this out. This is too good. Waiting for Stryker to get his Arcana so he can get gun powers. I'm sorry, it's just so stupid. I love it. But
think about it. Power unlimited ammunition.
Anyway, just the fact that we're seeing a lot more involvement already or hearing about a lot more involvement already from Ed, from potentially Dominic, and maybe less studio interference as well, as they've seen that they can be confident in a Mortal Kombat project, is very, very telling for at least a positive sequel on the way. I believe that just the fact that Ed himself shared some stuff about the movie prior to anything really happening, in comparison to the first movie where he didn't really say anything until just, oh wow, the movie's in cinemas and stuff, you know what I mean? At least based on what I remember. And that itself says to me, hey, Ed has some confidence in the movie we're going to get. And I think that means that we should also be at least a little bit more confident if you weren't already in the first film.
Yep, I certainly am. I actually liked the first film. Now that some time has passed, my excitement for it has died down a little bit. I'm not quite as thrilled with it as I was initially when I came on your show and discussed it. But I'm definitely hype about the next one. Let me address this one. Predamania Rage Games says, I love the armory background. Where can I find it? That kind of is directed towards me. I got it. It was a Mugen background, and
It's me, man. Obviously.
I guess I should have mentioned who made it. It's Murcia Miguel. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. Murcia Miguel made this background for a Mugen game. So there you go.
Amazing. I mean, when I get
maybe I should put a link to this in the chat.
Yeah, well, we should. That'd be really cool, actually. I'm gonna have to do this at some point when I grab a green screen, because I don't know if you like seeing my curtains in my PC. But one thing about the movie as well that we haven't talked about today is the writer, Jeremy Slater, and I have full confidence in him just purely because he wrote the Moon Knight series, and I absolutely loved it.
I never finished it.
Oh man, you are missing out. It was so good, and
I think I stopped at like the second to last episode.
Oh, what are you doing?
And I knew that would drive you crazy. That's why I wanted to mention that.
Oh, this guy. But we have this picture up on the screen, and since we're crediting things, we really should credit this. This image that you see of the casting, the confirmed casting so far, was put together for us by our friend at Evil Star Legacy. Thank you very much, man. He's always helping out because I suck at doing this stuff and Phantom's too lazy. So I just say, hey, could you do this? And he does it. So thank you so much, man. And we'll obviously be updating this as we go, of course. But one thing that I have seen come up in the chat, and I'm sorry, I don't remember who said this. If I scroll down, I'm sure I can find it. But is what's going to happen with Melina? Because obviously Adeline Rudolph looks, well, not really the same as Melina did with CC Stringer's portrayal. And that is something that we should potentially talk about. We posted about this.
Is this the comment you're talking about?
Yes, that was it. Evil Emperor. Of course, I should have remembered that.
there's actually been a lot of
about
comments in the chat, so I'm not sure.
But if this is what we're talking about, I actually had a really good image for this that I saw the other day. A picture of MK Gold with MK Gold's katana and MK Gold Melina. And, you know, they don't really look identical there either. So there's kind of precedent in game for this.
Huh. I wouldn't have clicked really onto that.
No, someone pointed that out to me. It didn't click with me either.
I think it's because I played mostly Mortal Kombat 4 over Gold until much later.
Yeah, you might have missed the Dreamcast exclusive characters. I know.
Yeah.
Oh, I think I found. Is it let me see if I can share this. Like that?
Yeah, there it is. That's exactly the image I was going to send you. Oh my god, perfect.
So
yeah, I see it.
That's interesting. But we actually have another more unofficial official answer.
Yeah, let me see if I can find that at least on the Instagram page rather than on Twitter, because that's going to be difficult.
But we do know that CC is out and she's not in here.
Exactly what we're bringing up right now.
Perfect. We also know that the actress who played Katana has a twin sister in real life.
I did want to address that.
That's just perfect for the movie.
Well, the thing is,
by all means,
as far as I can see, she doesn't seem to be an actress.
Yeah, the sister is not.
Yes. Yeah.
Which is disappointing because, like, what perfect casting to hire somebody who has an identical twin. But yeah, so I don't know if that would come into play, but if it would, like, that'd be great if we could actually get a Melina clone. But here's the thing. Okay, so if they want to put Melina in the movie and everybody's worried, well, she's not going to look like CC. Well, put a mask on her. You know, she's a ninja. Like, you might not really notice, especially if she doesn't have.
You'll still be able to tell it's not CC, I think, even with the mask.
Yeah, I think so. But at the same time, I don't know. I think you can get away with it, honestly.
Speaking of which, the picture that you've got there, you can't actually see the comment by CC in response to the question by Davern64. Will we be seeing you back in Australia for MK2? No. Now, that could just be, just a random, they could just be saying that. Or it could actually be confirmation that she is not returning. We have not seen anything about that. But also, I would like to draw attention to the fact that we have also seen Hiroyuki Sanada specifically say, I've not been contacted about returning as Scorpion. And for all we know, he could be in the movie too. So this could be a bit of misdirection. I believe that she won't be in it personally,
I think
but
her career is kind of really moving a lot right now, and yeah, that's why I wonder if she's gonna come back for it.
and I think I saw somebody say that she's unfollowed most Mortal Kombat pages that she was already following, so that's not a good sign for her.
Twitter, she shut down her account.
Did she?
As of last checking, which was earlier this week.
Hopefully, that's not due to any.
Everything
know
you
if that's
guys have
anything.
said is 100% right. She unfollowed all the Mortal Kombat people on her Twitter and on her Instagram, and then she completely shut down her Twitter. Supposedly, she was getting racist comments, but could be a thing. But I think it's also more likely that, hey, this whole thing about not being picked in Mortal Kombat, that sucks. It's a painful reminder. Just undo all the Mortal Kombat connections she had.
Yeah, I mean, fair enough to that part. In terms of the racial comments, really just don't do that. And I really hope nobody in the chat does that. It's not right.
Well, too, there's a lot of debate on the casting choice because people see her as different ethnicities. Melina and Katana both, and Jade, and we've kind of talked about that before in the Realm Kast. So
yes,
who knows how much of that is.
Yeah, I know. There's a line where the comment becomes, it's too much, or if it's, and I say that as somebody who deals with that myself quite often, sadly.
It's tricky because there's not a universal agreement among the fan base about what the proper look really is, and when an issue like this comes up, the split between the fan community just gets wider and wider. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, we see that in many different aspects, even aside from racial choices of characters, etc., etc. And we had an entire roundtable with a few YouTube. Was it History, Rusk Poet, and the Force Snake? And I'm pretty sure were you on there, Tabmok, too?
I was not part of that one.
Not that one. You were a different roundtable discussion then. But we've talked on that topic quite extensively as to characters and how we expect them to be portrayed, how we see them in our minds in terms of identity and everything. But obviously, there's a way to talk about it, and there's a way where you're really crossing that line, and I hope that people don't cross that line, is what I'm trying to get to here.
Have you guys seen, unrelated, have you guys seen Little Mermaid?
It's all about respecting. You got to respect people. You got to respect actors. You got to respect people of all colors and races, and you got to respect. We shouldn't send disrespect to an actor or an actress or even a casting director or anybody involved with the project just because we don't like the choices they make.
Exactly. Yes.
You can voice your opinion, but you shouldn't slam them and attack them for something that's outside their control.
Especially when they were picked. It's not their fault that they got picked. If anything, you should be giving them kudos for getting picked, in my opinion. Even if you don't agree with the casting decision. It's anyway. But point of this is racist comments bad.
I think that's something we can all agree on.
Yeah.
Don't attack Mortal Kombat actors, please.
Yes. Don't attack any actors, please.
All right, so what else do we have on the news?
Well, I mean, we kind of... Can you bring it back up, that confirmed casting?
Oh,
we did talk about this a little bit.
We didn't really spend a lot of time on Jade yet, did we?
Yeah, exactly. Yes.
Oh,
I was going to get to. So... What is the new Sabrina show called? Because I have heard very good things about it, but I've not seen it. I think it's a Netflix show.
Yeah, it's a Netflix show. I think it's just called. I think it's The Chilling Adventures of Sabrina.
That might be it. Yes.
I might be wrong,
and I'm pretty sure that both Tati Gabrielle and Adeline Rudolph are part of that show, based on what I've been seeing online. So it's quite interesting to see them brought back together for the Mortal Kombat movie. And I'm curious to hear in the chat what everybody thinks of the casting, because so far, based on what I've seen when we've posted about this news, everybody seems to love the casting choices for both Jade and Kitana. It seems they fit perfectly. Are we all of the same opinion here?
I love them both, although I will be honest, I've seen people who I'm following on Twitter who are less than enthusiastic about because she's so different from Cece.
Interesting.
I've seen people arguing the Jade choice because of the whole conversation about Jade, whether she's what nationality she's from, if she's Indonesian.
This is perfect.
Like
this is perfect. Actually, stick to this topic for 1 second. So I personally was thinking something similar, because I've always thought that, hey, Jade should be I've always thought that she's more like, let's just say, as you said, Malaysian or something like that, you know, Indonesian, etc. I've always thought that Jade kind of fits more to that sort of ethnicity, just purely because of her portrayal in Mortal Kombat Deception, for example. And she definitely came across that way to me. But everybody in later games, you're also seeing her have more of a black ethnicity. And so right now there's this thing where it's like, oh, which one is she? And actually, this is quite beautiful, because Tati Gabrielle seems to have, if I'm on her page, right on her Wikipedia page right now, African American heritage and Korean heritage. Both.
Really?
Yeah, both of them.
That's amazing.
And
I think
that's
she's
actually quite interesting.
Beautiful.
She look. I honestly, I think she's a very, very, very good casting choice, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And the fact that, in terms of actual blood as well, I'm not saying that this is a necessity for people to have, but it's just quite interesting to see that, because, hey, wow, it fits both that we've received in later years, you know.
A character like Jade, who's coded as black in some of the newer games, where a lot of people, that's their favorite iteration of her, but she coded as other races in the past. It's hard to get her right, and they found the perfect actress for her. And I agree with you, that is not necessarily a prerequisite, but the fact that she hits both those categories is pretty good. And she's a great actress too. She can act. I mean, I saw her casting video. I'm sold.
Was she also in Wednesday? I think somebody commented that earlier, and I haven't gone to check that.
You know, I only saw the first episode of Wednesday, and I couldn't really tell you for sure, but are you pulling up her IMDb right now?
I'm checking right now, actually, yeah, because I saw somebody say that on social media somewhere, and I'm very curious to see if that is the case.
I'm not sure. I haven't seen it either.
Look now.
But, you know, the chat is really, really not talking about Jade too much right now. They're really stuck on Melina. So maybe we should get to that.
Well, firstly, it was Kaleidoscope, not
Wednesday.
Not Wednesday. No.
Okay.
Although I did see that comment, but I was thinking I've seen her somewhere, and I was Kaleidoscope. So, Melina, yes. You've kind of addressed this already, Tabmok.
Should she? Yeah, I'm probably going to make a video addressing Melina's lore a little bit more in depth later, because when she was first introduced, she was a twin sister of Kitana. But if you played the ending, you'd see, well, she's not actually a sister. She was a clone. And as we played later games, like starting with MK Gold, like that picture you had earlier shows, now even their skin tone is a little different. And, you know, she's not 100% straight up clone. She's a hybrid. She's got Tarkatan features. She's a hybrid of Tarkatan and Edenian races. So, you know, she's a very interesting character. There's so many different games to choose from. You could start from their initial, her first MK2 appearance. You could go for the more MK Gold appearance. You could go from the 3D era, or the very, very modern one, MK11, where they both have that Asian, or they're both Asian coded. There's just so many different games to pull from, that I think it's tricky, because you can't pull from all of them at the same time. At some point, you just have to make a casting choice and go with it. I'm all in. I think they're doing it right. Melina does look like Cece here to me. And Kitana also, like the new actress, does resemble her. I think it's a tricky balance to pull off, but to me, they nailed it.
And for all we know, they could just sort of recast Melina with Adeline.
Well, and there should be more than one Melina clone, right?
Exactly.
Kitana clone, right? Like Kitana, Shang Tsung should go through a lot of different clones. He should, one Melina dies, make a new one, whatever. Even in MK Gold, they said Melina died and ended up in the Netherrealm, and she came back from death. So
exactly.
So whether it's the same Melina that we saw in the first movie, whether it's a new one that Shang Tsung created, there's always an excuse to bring Melina back and recast her with a new actress.
Well,
if they decide to go that route.
Was it Mortal Kombat 9's ending, Melina's ending, where she basically lets all of her clones out of the vats and has this Melina army marching through the, taking over everything? So yeah, I mean, anybody can beat Melina.
Mortal Kombat. Yeah.
I'm just waiting for that. You underestimate my power scene between Melina and Kitana. No.
If you strike me down, I'll become more powerful than you can possibly imagine.
Go on, Phantom. You want to interrupt our Star Wars references? Go for it.
I do. Let's move on to the next news topic. Yanni, I'll let you take this one.
So we have. Oh, you've brought it up already. You want to pull that full screen?
Yeah.
Looks
In
like
case you've missed it,
like stress test.
It is the stress test. Mortal Kombat have announced a stress test to test the might of the servers, and we don't know when it is. I'm really hoping it's not when I'm traveling. I really hope that is, because that will really get to me if I do get in and I can't play. But you can sign up.
That would really stress you out.
Hey, I was gonna try and make it. I was like, I'm not gonna top this one. I'm gonna leave it there. So, if you want to sign up, it is on the official Mortal Kombat Twitter page as well as Facebook page, and I'm pretty sure I've seen it on the Instagram page too. Go sign up. Let's stress the hell out of their servers to make sure that when we do get some form of online, hopefully not Combat League, it runs properly, so we complain less.
I saw some guys on Mortal Kombat Online talking about this. If you're going to have a stress test, I think it was Street Fighter, they were saying when they did their stress tests, they just opened it up to everybody to put as much stress on as possible. And they're like, okay, well, now we know how to handle the stress. Mortal Kombat is doing pick and choose the stress level of it. So is it really?
Yeah, that is a weird one. That is a very weird one to me. It's, you don't call it a stress test, just call it an online test or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like we're gonna. It isn't a stress test. We're, just slightly inconveniencing it to test.
I do wish they would give out like Mortal Kombat stress balls for everybody who participated in this.
All right. Is there anything else to say about this?
Well, no, I mean, still on this topic. One thing that I have seen. Actually, can you open up that link, Tim? Oh no, you don't need to. Sorry, you don't need to.
I just got your message. AW8 asks, "Are y'all going to talk about the supposed roster leak on Twitter?" I would like to say, I don't think we are.
We are not going to, unless there's actual proper confirmation.
Certain line we don't want to cross, right?
Yeah. And because nothing's confirmed. That's
sorry if you're into roster leaks, but we're not into roster leaks. We're not even into rooster leaks.
Oh my god. Anyway, so no rooster leaks, no roster leaks. On the Twitter post here in the comments, you can see this test will prioritize online 1v1 matches. Warner Bros. Games account is required to participate. Now, some people were commenting on this saying, wait, 1v1? Does that mean tag team or something? And personally, I don't think it's going that route. I think it's just addressing that it's only going to be 1v1 matches rather than, for example, King of the Hill or potentially even whatever mode they've got with cameo fighters. I'm hoping that cameo fighters are very similar to tag team. I remember my face going, and then when I realized it wasn't tag team when I read this the first time. But I believe that this is just going to be for those types of matches rather than confirming tag team or anything like that.
Yeah, I think so. Like we said, I don't think it's a full stress test. It's just just kind of testing it to see where they start seeing some issues. But hey,
I've seen a lot of people read into that comment like really, really deep. Like someone's like, "Oh, does this mean cameos are going to be disabled during the stress test?" It's like, wow, people have really given this a lot of thought.
Yeah, people. I mean, that is something that I cannot fault the community for, and if anything, I love the community more for it, because that is what we always do. We always look as so like that. Forget the magnifying glass. We are microscoping in. We are looking for. We were looking into a grain of sand for 2 weeks or something.
Yeah.
The amount of pictures that came from that grain of sand that had like I think I see Scorpion's spear in there and stuff like that. Like it was so fun watching.
I mean, if they did, then I mean, Scorpion seems to be confirmed. So
yeah, maybe they did.
Someone says, "What if that's not Scorpion? What if that's actually Takeda?"
That's. I mean, even then, that could be both. Technically, it's still the same title, right?
Yeah, you're right. Because in MK Conquest, Takeda was Scorpion.
Yeah, and also a Scorpion tattoo. And even then, one other thing that we might be forgetting is the actual FAQ page confirms Scorpion.
on
Man, you really
MK1.
thought about this.
Oh, he has. I mean, we did an 8-hour stream where Yanni just dove into it more and more and more.
We watched that trailer just on that stream alone 200 times.
Yeah, it's important. You know, we get into the nitty gritty of it. We pick apart things in that trailer that nobody noticed. Like someone's found a satellite dish on top of one of them.
Exactly.
I love it.
Yeah. And somebody else pointed out the lamps had strings as if they were hooked up to electricity and stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like, yeah, and all that came out after the reveal party that we had with you, Tab,
Exactly.
right? Like, it's
In
crazy.
Fact, it
people
inspired
are
a really
looking into-
stupid meme.
People are looking into whose amulet is he holding? Is that Raiden's amulet from MK9? Is that Shinnok's amulet? Is Scorpion wearing the Lin Kuei logo? Is that a different logo? Like, we're really
that was the Lin Kuei logo, by the way. I confirmed it myself.
Oh,
like,
thank God.
At least in that trailer, I went in, I checked, and people were saying, "Oh no, it looks different. It could be White Lotus. It could be this. It could be that. It could be Shirai Ryu." I went like full on tunnel vision just into this emblem, and that was the Lin Kuei logo.
If you think about it, the Shirai Ryu was an offshoot of the Lin Kuei clan. I mean, imagine if the two of them are getting together and talking about reunification. Like, that would be something that could only happen in Liu Kang's new era.
Mm-hmm. Yes, and I mean, it does look like they're about to fight, and then they see some threat, and they decide to work together instead. But as you just said, and as we commented on our 8-hour stream and a few times since, the Shirai Ryu was an offshoot of the. If anything, it was a slap in the face for the Lin Kuei with its creation and the choice of yellow. Sorry, I made this and I just had to bring it up now that we're talking about the satellite dish. It was so stupid, but I loved it.
Shirai Ryu watching Scorpion documentaries.
Just in case anybody is interested in the process behind this stuff, I have this stupid idea, and I will show Phantom my version of it, and then he's like, "Your art skills suck. Let me do it for you instead."
And then I make it so much worse by whatever this is.
Well, you know, two heads are better than one.
Are they?
Our heads are like hitting into each other while we're trying to figure things out.
Yeah.
So, all right. What's happening to Kronika by How's Your Father? I like the name. He's good, thank you.
How's Your Father? Welcome. I see him in a lot of my streams too.
Kronika seems to be dead.
Yes, yeah.
You think so?
I mean, unless she's coming in from a different timeline, which doesn't make sense because you would assume that, I hate to say this word, the Titans are out of that.
I'm just going to guess that nobody ever really dies in Mortal Kombat. Yeah. I remember hearing that.
Yeah, several places. Very true. And you just commented on it with Melina's death in MK Gold, right? Netherrealm Resurrection.
What if Kronika's a cameo character?
Oh my god. Is Garrus still in the Bottomless Sea? Oh no, we confirmed that with his in-fight dialogues, didn't we? He made it out somehow.
We confirmed that he escaped.
Yes.
He was eaten by a Leviathan, and from there he was able to reform.
What was the Leviathan doing all the way down there?
Well,
swimming.
Leviathans live in the water.
Yeah, but all the way down there, and why is it coming back up?
Well, we don't know how far down he was.
Was that water or was that blood? It was red.
It was blood. It was a blood sea. Was it? I always thought.
Well, is it a Leviathan that lives in the blood? No, I'm just taking this further on purpose to annoy you. But
all right. Well, moving on to the next.
I'm gonna guess it's the blood of many different species, not just human blood.
That's true. Okay, fair.
And a lot of different species have like green blood and black blood, as we've seen. So I don't know why the sea of blood is red. That doesn't make any sense.
Speaking of which, wasn't Garrus's blood blue in MK11
Probably.
beta? And then they changed it?
Yeah, in the beta.
Yeah.
All right, so last bit of Mortal Kombat news we have today.
Phantom really trying to keep us in line.
Thank you. Yeah, bringing us back on topic.
We have news.
Yes. Are you ready for Summer Game Fest? Because we are getting our first look at Mortal Kombat gameplay.
What are we expecting?
Yeah, I can't wait.
Yeah, I can't wait either.
June 8th, Summer Games Fest.
Coming up. Yeah.
Ed with Jeff Keighley.
Yep. Jeff Keighley and Ed Boon will be live on stage, and that's pretty much all we know is that there will be some kind of footage, a gameplay footage from Mortal Kombat 1, and it'll be there. So I don't know. It's just Mortal Kombat news. Most people already know this, but we gotta cover every bit of Mortal Kombat news on this show. So
yeah, and just a heads up for everybody who's on right now, Phantom and I are looking at potentially streaming that. If not, we will be doing a follow-up Soul stream immediately following the conclusion.
Yeah, I'm so curious about this.
I mean, I absolutely love the cinematic gameplay trailer, the cinematic trailer first before they show us gameplay. I see a lot of people complaining online, like, well, why don't they show us the gameplay? It's like, dude, hype us up with a cool cinematic trailer, like something awesome. Come on, we'll see the gameplay. We'll see it soon enough.
Well, this trailer that they did this time, like, if you compare it to how they've revealed other Mortal Kombat games in the past, it was so much more exciting.
Yeah.
Dude, they had way more characters. They didn't have like distracting music. They really hit all the right notes for me with this trailer. They had so many more characters. I mean, they didn't just dial it down to 2, like Scorpion versus Sub-Zero or Scorpion versus Raiden. They really included a lot.
People were complaining that this trailer has been, or they were complaining that there's no trailer at the PlayStation event right afterwards, like the next week or so.
But I noticed that. I watched that PlayStation event just in case. I was a little disappointed.
Well,
but whatever. Who cares?
Like, nobody, the hype wouldn't have been there the way that it was when we got this trailer. Like, Mortal Kombat hype kind of took over for the period in between the PlayStation trailer. I mean, to the fact that people are still talking about more about Mortal Kombat than whatever was revealed at the PlayStation thing, in my opinion. So
yeah.
Well, we follow the Mortal Kombat community, so we could be biased.
Let's see. We got a super chat question here from D-Rock.
Again, D-Rock, thank you again.
What are your thoughts on the overemphasis of murder and drawn-out fatalities in Mortal Kombat? It wasn't always this way, but seems the focus shifted around Mortal Kombat 9.
Can I take this one?
Yes,
just
please.
Quickly. So I've actually been playing a bit of MK9 and MKX recently. I've posted a few combo videos just because I missed some of the old characters, Tremor, Human Smoke, etc., Tanya. And one thing I noticed going back from MK11 to MKX to MK9 in that order is that MK11 pushed things so much further in terms of length than MKX did, which also did the same thing with MK9. MK9's fights, to me, were extremely fast-paced, even though Mortal Kombat X's actual fighting system was technically faster. But MKX did, in my opinion, made the mistake of making the X-rays take a longer amount of time than MK9's, and also the fatalities did the same thing. And then MK11 took that to the extreme with fatal blows and fatalities lasting an unnecessarily long amount of time, which kind of, in my opinion, ruined the feel of using those fatal blows and those fatalities. Like, I was going through the arcade tag team tower with Rain and Human Smoke, and I would just do a fatality and it would take like 3 seconds. Smoke just vapors through and they fall apart. Perfect. It was immediate. If I wanted to use an X-ray, if I just said, okay, they have 30% health left, why not? The X-ray was 2 hits, and that's one thing as well that I noticed. All of the X-rays in MK9 were 2 hits. MKX were, I think, 3 or 4 hits or something. MK11 is just extremely extended. And that was a big problem because it really, while it's cool to watch it on the first go around, I remember seeing Scarlet's fatal blow, for example, thinking, oh, she's throwing that blood spear through their face, and her fatalities and everything. There's a reason everybody preferred the brutalities. And it wasn't just the fact that you needed to try and use skill to get them done. It was because they were also quick. I hated in Combat League when somebody fatality'd me because it was just, I've seen this thing a million times, and each time it takes so long compared to how long it used to take in MK9. And I just want to get to my next fight. So
I'm with you.
That's your
I'm with
very
you.
long answer.
Those mechanics were a lot of fun in the beginning, but by the time you've done 200 matches, 300 matches, you do kind of miss the fast-paced ones with MK9, or it was just 2 hits. I wanted to say one and done, but that's what the brutalities were like. And I also thought that some of the fatalities, I'm not squeamish about violence or anything. Obviously, as a Mortal Kombat fan, you kind of can't be. but I liked the violence level of the brutalities. I thought they were perfect in MK11. Like, I thought that was a great way to end the match, not just because they were quicker, but, you know, they just made more sense. Some of the fatalities were just overkill. Like, even from a lore standpoint, are you really going to, like, clap someone's head off and then after they're already dead, like, continue mutilating the dead body? You know,
exactly. And fun fact,
like,
based on what you just said, by
they
the way.
don't do that.
Sorry, Tabmok. Fun fact, just to interrupt you. You were saying how the brutalities were perfect because they were a much faster way and more fitting way of ending the fight. Fun fact between MKX and MK11 is MK11 actually delayed that part at the end where it says finish him or finish her. And it slowed down, interrupting your combo so that you would actually possibly drop the brutality. And that's another thing. Why is it slowing down? Let me just... MKX style. Boom, 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 boom. Brutality. Why are we slowing down fatal blows? Why are we slowing down fatalities? Why are we slowing down even the brutalities, which are meant to be the fast way of ending the fight? It should just...
Yeah.
Boom.
It looks cinematic and it looks cool, especially when you're showing the gameplay for the first time. But, you know, after a while, we kind of like lean more towards the brutalities and stuff.
Yeah.
My thing is, so, you know, D-Rock says that it seems that they shifted it in Mortal Kombat 9. I feel like Mortal Kombat 9 still had a lot of remnants of like the cheeky part of Mortal Kombat. I think Mortal Kombat X and 11 is where they really kind of were like, okay, well, Mortal Kombat's about blood and gore, kind of like they did with the Mortal Kombat movie. They're like, this is going to be the bloodiest thing ever. And that's when we started seeing, you know, articles about people experiencing PTSD that worked at NetherRealm and stuff like that. So Mortal Kombat 9, I don't know, Mortal Kombat 9 it's a lot of fun to a lot of people because it still had that comedic stuff to it. By the time they got to Mortal Kombat 11, I've said this before on the Realm Kast, it's so realistic that, you know, I feel like I'm actually watching a real person get decimated. I'm like, this isn't as fun watching a fatality as it used to be.
And I do also want to give a shout out to D-Rock. He's really been doing a great job with all the super chats. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Yeah.
Thanks, D-Rock.
And great questions along with them.
Yeah, right. Exactly. Like really interesting discussions that is kind of driving the direction of our chat here. And Phantom, to build off of what you said, when I think about the comedy in Mortal Kombat 9, I think about like the way Johnny Cage would crack me up, you know, like I'm taking you out, I'm taking you out, I'm taking you out, and I'm taking you out to dinner. When I think back to like MKX and MK11, I just kind of think of all these like dramatic moments and like sad moments and stuff like that. Like they build drama, they build tension, you know, talking to Kotal and Outworld and trying to win him over. And thank God he's like relatively reasonable, easy guy to deal with compared to Shao Kahn. I'm not really seeing the same kind of humor. You know, Cassie just has a little bit of it. Like Cassie sort of kind of retained just a slight amount, but it sort of seemed like she was trying to crack a joke to like deal with all the tension because the tension was just so much. Whereas with Johnny Cage, the whole tone was comedic just because he stole the show of every scene he was in.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. You know, like Johnny, where's you been? Where have you and Jax been? Oh, he was busy punching me in the face.
But it's actually funny that you say that too, because if you think back on the Mortal Kombat 11 story and Aftermath, they were also quite dramatic, which I would even compare as based on what we've seen right now to Mortal Kombat 1's story trailer, but obviously they're not going to lead in with comedy and stuff. But
the stakes were high. It was high stakes,
Yeah. But also, even then, in Aftermath, we did get some humor. I remember when Shang Tsung throws Garrus through into the Chaos Realm. It's like, where'd you send him? To the Chaos Realm. Havoc will have fun with him or something like that. You know what I mean? And it's like those little moments, throw them in there, you know? Make sure that Mortal Kombat can be serious, yes, but also it shouldn't take itself too seriously either at the same time. And that's something that we've grown up watching Mortal Kombat do, you know?
Yeah.
I think we had another good comment there.
Yeah, which
Phantom?
one?
Sorry.
A lot of good ones.
There was one by Rodrigo Goiz. I'm going to try. Bittersweet about MK1. That will bring change of dynamics and relationships. This could mean one of the most cherished couples in FGC never and could never become one in Liu Kang and Kitana. And actually, his follow-up comment is very good. Could you bring that one up too?
Lutana fans will not be happy.
And considering the context of MK1, Liu Kang is an all-powered entity. I don't see him clinging to romantic feelings or involved in relationships, as it could cloud his actions and judgment. So yeah, That's actually a very good point, that especially with the follow-up. We kind of commented on how these relationships are going to work, and I think, was it Ed or was it Dominic who tweeted saying something that since it's a blank slate, the lore is going to be, similar to what you've seen, but it's also going to change. This is a new timeline, a new story. And whether we get Kitana and Liu is going to be an interesting one, because as you've just said as well, like if Liu Kang is considered this omnipotent, godlike being at this point to the extent where he's controlling the hourglass, then maybe he's losing that sense of humanity, and we kind of see that with how brutal he gets.
I don't want that to be the case, because I really was a fan of the good ending in MK11, where if you beat Kronika on your first try, Liu Kang and Kitana get to start time over with each other from the beginning. And I was hoping that would be the one that continues. That doesn't seem to be the direction that they're going in from the MK1 trailer. So I can't really say that I'm hopefully optimistic that it'll still happen. It just looks like it's not. But having said that, we've seen Raiden, as kind of getting together with the women, at least on MK Conquest. We saw
yeah. Fujin, that's a good point.
Yes, and we saw Fujin starting a daughter, starting a family, having a daughter in his MK11 ending. So it just seems to me like Liu Kang being a god. No, I think he could be like what Guile says to do in Street Fighter. He could still go home and be a family man.
Yeah, could do. I don't know. It's just the vibe that I get from.
Yeah.
Well,
it looks very dark, Liu Kang-ish,
Yeah. Very serious. Very, very much wants to be the good guy. Very much doesn't want personal feelings. Like, yes, almost like a Jedi, right? Can't be allowed to have a family.
Raiden. I see that, but Deception Raiden is the vibe that I get.
I was talking to a Kitana fan page on Twitter, and we were having a conversation about how the Kitana in this trailer that we've seen so far is basically a very young Kitana. Who knows? She could still be, 1,000 years old instead of 3,000 or whatever the age was. But she presents herself as very young. She has very whimsical, like she's kind of looking out in awe of her surroundings, and it looks like a younger character model and things like that. So I think you're right, Tabmok. I think we're getting a reset timeline without Kitana being part of it, without her being involved in the new era
and shaping it.
Yeah.
Well, firstly, D-Rock, Liu Kang's voice acting in the trailer was so good. We were actually, before this episode went live, Tabmok, Phantom, and I were just going on about how much we love the trailer. And I specifically have been saying, and I think I've made about 800 memes just based on that specific scene alone, where it's just, you have chosen war with a god. And every time I hear it, I'm like, this is bad ass. It is just such good voice acting. It really is.
Dude, I swear to God, anytime someone tries to start shit with me from now on, I'm just going to tell them they have chosen to defy peace.
Actually, I'd like to shout out Evil Emperor X made a really, really funny
he always
clip.
has all the funny comments.
He made a really good clip yesterday, I think it was, of where Shang Tsung chooses peace. Then you have chosen God. So it's got Liu Kang with like this halo kind of and this angelic light behind him. It's amazing.
But I want to say, I don't know if we're allowed to say the F word on this chat, but I also want to give a shout out to MK Jasper, who made a really good one. Where Liu Kang is telling Shang Tsung, F around and find out.
Yeah, that one was great. And actually, thank you to Jasper. He allowed me to post that on Instagram rather than posting it himself. So that was really cool of him. I appreciate that. But that was hilarious.
If I can shift tracks for a minute, I wanted to give a shout out to Quincy Brown, who I was talking to on Instagram before the chat. He's also in the chat now. And I
wanted to bring his comment up next.
Oh, okay, perfect. About
That's
Raiden
perfect.
And about how...
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go for it.
Yeah. Okay, so I don't see the comment now, but he was basically saying, like, is Raiden going to be able to have lightning powers? And I was just talking to someone about this earlier. I can't remember who, but I was just saying this on Twitter. Like,